A collection of quotes from the Holy Fathers of the Orthodox Church. We should uncover enough of our sinfulness to make our conscience remind us that we are but unworthy servants and in need of God's mercy. St. Isaac the Syrian. The man who keeps silence with knowledge is the man who is convinced that he is unworthy to speak. St. Dorotheus of Gaza. If you want to know the special good and grace attached to almsgiving and how great it is, consider that it is able to take away sins. St. Dorotheus of Gaza. Believe that he who hates disgrace hates humility, and he who flees from those who provoke him flees from meekness. St. Dorotheus of Gaza. Believe that disgrace and contempt is a healing remedy against the arrogance of your soul, and pray earnestly for those who, as true healers, abuse you. St. Dorotheus of Gaza. And because of your own weaknesses, have sympathy with your brother, and give thanks that you have found a starting place for forgiveness, that you may be forgiven by God for your many and greater faults. St. Dorotheus of Gaza. Humility is the only thing the devil fears. He is not afraid of anything else, not even if you were the most ascetic person on earth. Elder Cleopa. The enemy is not afraid of the one who takes on struggles beyond his means, since he knows that person will fall. Little by little, slowly, slowly. Elder Cleopa. Grow in virtue little by little, and always be sorry that you have not done more. Elder Cleopa. Tears without humility are not spiritual tears, but selfish and vainglorious tears. Elder Cleopa. And even if our own condition makes us think or suddenly suspect something evil of our neighbor, let us quickly change our thoughts into something kind and beautiful. St. Dorotheus of Gaza. If anyone insults you or otherwise troubles you, pray for him, as the Fathers say, as for one who does you a great benefit in curing you of your love for pleasure. St. Dorotheus of Gaza. It is a good thing on every occasion to prepare for ourselves a little less than we need, for it is not good for us to be completely satisfied in everything. St. Dorotheus of Gaza. It is not right to correct a brother at the moment he is doing wrong, or at any other time for the sake of getting back our own. St. Dorotheus of Gaza. No evil, not even for a joke. A man may do something for a joke, but in the end he is trapped in it against his will. St. Dorotheus of Gaza. It is impossible for a man to be angry with anyone unless his heart is first lifted up against him, unless he despises him and esteems himself superior to him. St. Dorotheus of Gaza. If you come to this monastery, don't think you have come into paradise. It is paradise and that every monastery is a spiritual paradise, if your mind is in paradise. But if your mind is in hell, then wherever you go is hell. Elder Cleopa. It is 1,000 times more useful for you, O man, to see your own faults than to behold angels. Saint Isaac the Syrian. Do not theologize in prayer, and do not allow thoughts to come into your mind. Instead, pour out tears. Elder Cleopa. Those who are struggling financially are the ones that need to give alms. They need to work very long and hard in order to earn enough to meet their most basic needs, and thus their sacrifice of giving alms receives a greater blessing from God. Elder Cleopa. An Orthodox Christian must have the heart of a son towards God, the attitude of a judge towards himself, and the heart of a mother towards others. Elder Cleopa. It is precisely our egoism, our self-centeredness, and self-love that cause all our difficulties, our lack of freedom in suffering, our disappointments, and our anguish of soul and body. From the book Way of the Ascetics. Be convinced that nothing good can come from yourself. From the book Way of the Ascetics. This silence is necessary because all chatter about one's own concerns nourishes self-preoccupation and self-trust. From the book Way of the Ascetics. Through stillness, one's trust grows in him who seeks what is hidden. Through silence, one talks with him who hears without words. From the book Way of the Ascetics. Hereafter, you will consider that everything that happens to you, both great and small, is sent by God to help you in your warfare. He alone knows what is necessary for you and what you need at the moment. Adversity and prosperity, temptation and fall, nothing happens accidentally or in such a way that you cannot learn from it. You must understand this at once, for this is how your trust grows in the Lord whom you have chosen to follow. From the book Way of the Ascetics. You must abandon all your knowledge and become a dunce in order to be wise. You must become a pauper in order to be rich, and a weakling if you wish to be strong. From the book Way of the Ascetics. Naked, small, and helpless, you now pass on to the most difficult of all human tasks, to conquer your own selfish desires. Ultimately, it is just this self-persecution on which your warfare depends. For as long as your selfish will rules, you cannot pray to the Lord with a pure heart, "Thy will be done." If you cannot get rid of your own greatness, neither can you lay yourself open for real greatness. If you cling to your own freedom, you cannot share in true freedom, where only one will reigns. From the book Way of the Ascetics. If you wish to set yourself free from suffering, crush the small desires, say the Holy Fathers. Thus it does not pay to come to grips with the hard-to-master great vices and bad habits you have acquired without at the same time overcoming your small, innocent weaknesses. your taste for sweets, your urge to talk, your curiosity, your meddling. For finally, all our desires, great and small, are built on the same foundation, our unchecked habit of satisfying only our own will. It is the life of our own will that is destroyed. Since the fall, the will has been running errands exclusively for its own ego. For this reason, our warfare is directed against the life of self-will as such, and it should be undertaken without delay or wearying. If you have the urge to ask something, don't ask. If you have the urge to drink 2 cups of coffee, drink only 1. If you have the urge to look at the clock, don't look. If you wish to smoke a cigarette, don't smoke. If you want to go visiting, stay at home. This is self-persecution. In this way does one silence, with God's help, the loud-voiced will. From the book Way of the Ascetics. Make it your purpose to track down every sign of the bestial within you and persecute it relentlessly. From the book Way of the Ascetics. You must sit about rooting out the very desire to have things pleasant, to get on well, to be contented. You must learn to like sadness, poverty, pain, hardship. You must learn to follow privately the Lord's bidding, not to speak empty words, not to adorn yourself, always to obey authority, not to look at a woman with desire, not to be angry, and much else. For all these biddings are given us not in order for us to act as if they did not exist, but for us to follow. Otherwise, the Lord of mercy would not have burdened us with them. If any man will come after me, let him deny himself, he said, thereby leaving it to each person's own will, if any man will, and to each person's endeavor, let him deny himself. From the book Way of the Ascetics. If we move out of ourself, whom do we encounter? We meet God and our neighbor, Saint Theophan, the recluse. I did not fast, I did not keep vigil, I did not sleep on the ground, but I humbled myself, and I was saved. Saint Isaac the Syrian. Humility without good deeds can bring forgiveness of sins, but works without humility are completely useless. Saint Isaac the Syrian. One's growth and achievement in prayer, as well as his growth in the spiritual life, are not the result only of his own effort, but are due mostly to the grace and mercy of God. Elder Cleopa. Do you want to obtain prayer? Then strive in prayer, for when God beholds the efforts that you make for this, he will grant true prayer to you. Saint Macarius the Great. Someone who is humble in heart, even if he also possesses all the other virtues, will still consider himself as pitiful and feel that he has done nothing good in the eyes of God. Elder Cleopa. This concludes our reading. Through the prayers of our Holy Fathers, Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on us.